Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Parenting Tools podcast. My name is Jason.
And my name is Jordan. This is the podcast where two tools doing our best at parenting talk about the relentless beauty and the hilarious chaos.
Come on now.
Of being parents.
Amazing. Look at that.
It took us a few weeks, but we got it.
Sweet, I'm so tired of you. Sweet, I'm so tired of you treating me this way. I'm sick and then I'm
So Jordan, how's your week been?
Good. Good. Do you know what I feel like we should do?
Go on.
Because the world is clever and we can see when we get a bit of an influx of listeners.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd reintroduce ourselves because we've not done that since episode 1.
Okay. Yeah.
And we always ask our listeners, who are you and what have you got?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pose to you the question of, who are you and what have you got?
My name is Jason and I have a wife and a 2.5-year-old daughter who is beating me in arguments.
You say this so much.
I know, because it's so true. I am losing. And I honestly, I'm looking to my wife for backup because I'm like, what do I do? She's just
Sending the
outsmarting me.
reinforcements.
So that's pretty much us. What about yourself?
So I'm Jordan and I've got a wife and I've got a 3-year-old boy and a 1-year-old girl.
Wow.
Who is melting me. I said this on last week's episode. Every single day. I feel like I fall more in love with her every day.
Yeah.
She's at that phase, that stage where she's just doing more and more every day.
It doesn't stop though, does it? It doesn't stop. I still find literally every day I'm like to my wife, oh, she's just so amazing.
Yeah.
And like, obviously you're waiting for the day of going, oh, she was a nightmare. But it's, even when they are nightmares, they're still amazing.
Yeah. And she's getting like, her hair's growing more. So she's starting to look more like a girl. And like, she's got a little like nose.
She's gorgeous. Those big eyes and a little smile.
Mate. Yeah. So that's me. 2 kiddos. No dog.
Any hint of a third?
Nope. Why would you say that?
I think that's important for people to understand, introducing yourself.
Yeah. No. The thing is, don't get me wrong, if I had a third, I know I'd love them.
Yeah.
It doesn't worry me now having 2. Like, I know I can reproduce that love. Oh, wow. That sounded wrong. But like
practically as well.
But yeah, the whole thing of like, how do you love your second as much as your first? I always thought like, I love my little boy with 100% of me. There's only 100% I've got. It's like, does he now get 50%? But it's like, you somehow get 200%. And it's just like, how? I don't know.
Wow. For me, the practical challenge scares me.
Yeah, that's the more potent question, is any hint of a second for you?
So we would like a second in the future, but literally, it's really practical. We're waiting until we're physically fitter.
Yeah.
So since our only daughter, she was born early and she was in hospital for a lot of that. And one of the adverse effects, not really on her but on us, is that we let go of our eating because we got so stressed and things just hit us hard. And then one of the first things to go was our discipline in eating. And so me and my wife just ballooned. I am not a tall man. Yeah.
You're not a tall man.
I'm not a very tall man.
Taller than me, but it's not hard.
I reached the same weight as Tyson Fury.
And he is a tall man.
He's the world heavyweight champion.
And he got
boxer.
heavy at one point.
Oh, I wasn't as big as him and as heaviest.
He hit 30 stone at one point.
I am a heavyweight boxer's fighting weight. And I am not fit. So I've got to lose some weight. And that's the plan. We want to get fitter, just healthy. And then we'll think about trying for a second. But because really, like, it's tiring having kids.
Yeah.
And like, I want to give myself and my wife the best chance at like succeeding. And so that's our plans. Whether or not we get there, I don't know.
Yeah. I'd like a second to myself. Do you know what? I can't say that. I can't say that because my wife gave me a lion at the weekend.
A lion? What's
8:45, she came and woke me up.
Wow.
It was amazing. And then I felt like I felt a bit worse for the lion.
Oh, here's a question for you. This has hit a nerve. Because prior to having kids, in a marriage and in a relationship, it's all about fairness. What's fair? Treat each other exactly the same. Now we've got kids And we've got to a place where we recognise, and people might get there a lot sooner because they're just more mature and sensible. We've got to a place where actually treating each other the same is not the best for us. So me and my wife, because we don't respond the same to those actions. For example,
Interesting.
my wife requires more sleep. Not just from a sake of, oh, she's tired, she wants to lie in more. She physically cannot operate with less sleep.
That's me.
I, on the other hand, I can usually function 6 or 7 hours. I'm usually good to go. And so what we were doing for the first year of our daughter's life is we were just doing everything equal amounts. So equal amounts of lie-ins, all of that sort of stuff. But then the adverse effect on that was equal amount of alone time and time by yourself. I'm a huge introvert. I need time by myself more so than my wife does. And so now we've kind of got to a system of it's not fair in the fact that we get treated the same, but it's what's required rather than what's fair. So anyway, I'm all saying that because I haven't had a lion for a while and I think I need one now.
Yeah, if my wife's listening to this, I require 9 hours of sleep a night.
I require chocolate and that's why it's so big.
So you started to lose a bit of weight.
I did.
You were, according to the NHS app,
Yes.
officially obese.
Officially obese.
Question is,
Yeah.
are you obese or are you no-beese? This is a feature.
I officially am, I've edged out of obesity.
No-beese?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
No bees.
Get in.
But right on the cusp.
Still no-beese?
It's on the NHS app, it goes from red to orange. And there's a little indicator to show where the line is. I'm smack bang on the indicator.
You don't
but
look obese.
I don't look it, but I'm sure inside I do.
It's just clogged.
Which is the sad truth. I'm so unfit.
I'm unfit though. I've just got skinny wrists. So no matter what I wear, I've just got these skinny wrists that make me look skinny.
Wrists. Maybe that's what I need to focus on.
Yeah.
Wrist training.
When I started to get a bit of a dad bod on the go, and I changed I didn't go on a diet, I changed my diet.
Yeah.
And people go, oh, you don't need to go on a diet, look at you. And it's like, you can just see my wrists. If I were to take my top off, you'd tell me to go on a diet. I don't mind change it.
So I'm not quite honestly, I've had one of those weeks where I've not checked the scales. I've got an app which tells me where it is. I've not even gone near it. Not because I've been slacking, but just haven't had the mental capacity.
The man flu.
I've been down.
Yep.
Been taken out of action. MIA.
I get knocked down.
But everyone, parents will know. When you miss something, you don't get a chance to catch up. You're straight back on the treadmill, and you just got to keep going. So you've got to do all the stuff, all your responsibilities. They don't stop, and so it's checking my weight is one of the things that I've just not had the luxury to do. I'm hoping that I've lost an extra little bit.
It's too cold to be checking the weight. If you're doing it properly,
need to actually be pounding it on.
If you're doing it properly, you're not wearing clothes when you weigh, and it's just too cold for that. I put a stone on, it's just layers. Oh, amazing. So a few weeks ago, we said about donating to food banks.
Yes.
And we just want to say thank you to everybody that has done so. We greatly appreciate it. But we had a message from a friend of the pod, Calum, who said he has donated.
Calum.
Calum. How badly can you say Callum? Quite. So yeah, thank you to you, Callum, for your message, letting us know that you've donated. Please do keep donating to your local food bank, and send us a message if you've done so.
Yeah, amazing. Jordan, we had an opening question.
We have had an opening question, which is on that screen, very blurry.
Yeah, I'm going to have to zoom in because my eyes are not that good.
Your eyes aren't good.
I'm about to borrow your glasses.
I think legally I can't drive without my glasses.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Have you had to inform the DVLA?
Yeah, that was the when I was taking my test, that was the bit I was most nervous of.
Really?
Was the bit where you have to read the number plate.
I was nervous about that, but I memorised the one in front.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. Because there was a number of us taking the test at the same time, and I was last, and they all pointed to the same one. And so whilst I was standing next to the car, I just memorised it. Not because I couldn't see it, but because I was nervous that I wouldn't be able to see it.
That's so funny.
That's pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll oh, you got it. I'll pull it up.
We're zooming in.
We've got it.
Jordan, how do I pronounce this name?
Mark.
That was a genuine question.
He's got first name and surname as one.
Oh, I see.
So I feel like I think it's just Mark.
Mark, or it could be Mar.
It could be, yeah.
Anyway, we're going to go from Mark. Was this one of the opening question stickers?
This was one of the opening question stickers.
So this is from Mark. The price of formula. I pay £17.50 for Aptamon Advanced. Is it worth it, or should I buy the cheap stuff?
Do you know what you're paying for there, Mark? The Advanced. You're paying for the Advanced. That's what you're paying for.
What's in it?
Advanced stuff. Advanced minerals.
Advanced.
So you had an expensive one, right? Because of the allergies.
So my daughter's allergic to egg, milk, and soy, but like the milk protein. So even the alternative powders, like she would react to.
Yeah.
Thankfully, now this is huge. On the NHS, it was prescribed, so it was free. But there were times when you ran out and they were close, so you couldn't get another prescription for not the big tubs. We're talking about the tiny little tubs now.
Yeah.
You're talking, and it varies depending on the pharmacy or place where you can get it from, between 20 and 30 quid.
That's mad.
And that would last you 3 days.
Yeah.
Which is mad. And so if we were having to pay for that outright, honestly, I don't know how we'd survive.
Jeez, that is mad. We so first time round we did Aptamil, not Advanced because we're cheapskates. And then the second time round, the prices have gone up. So we said we're going to use Aldi's own. I believe it's Mamiya is the Aldi's brand.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did that. I think it was £9. So still not cheap.
Was it Advanced?
No, just Mamiya. But it was £9, I think, and it's exactly the same. If the only thing is, and my wife did a lot of research on this, is when you switch between brands, obviously there are some differences.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can take a bit of time for their stomach to adjust.
Yeah. So we had that. So we would often change, especially in the beginning, trying to figure out which ones worked. They can take a few days for their stomachs to adjust.
Yeah.
And it can be quite uncomfortable. But I honestly know not much about baby milk.
£17.50.
I know that's a lot. How long would that last?
I can't remember. Not long.
It's gone a week.
We went on holiday and we were in Greece and we took a whole tub. We went for a week and we ran out on the last day. We had to go to the local supermarket and find something. And Greek alphabet isn't normal letters. So it's quite tricky. So I was FaceTiming my wife in the shop and she was like, get that one. I've seen that one online. I've seen it on Instagram. Get that one. So we bought, anyway, it was fine. It worked all right.
There you go.
So there you go. Thank you, Mark. I believe it's Mark.
Or Mark.
You never know. And we've had another comment on Instagram from Catsby. And Catsby came and talked, oh gosh, I can't even say it. Catsby.
Go again.
I'm going to go again. We've had a comment from Catsby on the video talking about our Disney top 3.
Yes.
So Catsby, Lion King #1. She
Lion
knows.
King, yeah, that's fair.
She knows.
Yeah.
Finding Dory, not Nemo.
Ah, okay.
Finding Dory.
I actually quite enjoyed that one.
I did. Catsby said, so underrated. And Wildcard, Mulan.
Oh, I'm with you on that one.
Or is it Mulan?
It's Mulan.
Mulan.
That's a great film.
Moulin Rouge.
I got a little bit scared of that as a kid.
I can't. That's the just around the river bend, right?
Isn't that Pocahontas?
Yes.
There we go. I'm clued up on my Disney movies.
Mulan is Mushu.
Mushu, Eddie Murphy.
The little dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was disappointed that he wasn't in the reboot.
Not watched it.
Ah. Classic.
Not watched it, but yeah, Mulan. That's not in my top 10, obviously. Didn't even know what it was. It's the one where she disguises herself as a boy to go and fight.
Yeah.
So her dad doesn't have to.
Yeah, some cracking songs in that.
That's lovely.
Off the top of my head, can't think of them.
Just around.
Make a man out of you.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
It's weird you looking me in the eye singing that.
Do you know what? Actually, even that Pocahontas, what a film.
Yeah.
Aesthetically really pleasing as a Disney movie.
Isn't there a thing that like Avatar is just Pocahontas?
Is it?
Yeah.
The storyline's just the same.
The storyline's just...
Yeah, it makes sense.
A guy invades territory, falls in love with a girl. turns on his own people.
Yeah, that's Pocahontas.
I was describing Avatar.
Get a new story, James Cameron.
Yeah, there's a new one of those, isn't there?
There is.
Avatar.
There's like, he signed up for like 5 or something. Or 10. I think he's literally gone, this is my own money, I'm going to make all of them.
He'll be dead at the rate he's going.
They're taking like 10 years. It's 10 years.
And the rest? Good 12 years.
Is it 12 years since the last one?
I reckon it's 12 years since they made Avatar. So there you go. Thank you, Catsby.
So, George, you know how everybody says that kids are like sponges?
Yep.
It's so true. And like, I found myself being like really careful, like, about what I say around my daughter because I wanted to pick it up. And like, there was an occasion this week where she was singing a song, and at the moment she's into this thing of she's making up words, and she stumbled upon a word, which was definitely a word.
Oh wow!
The F-bomb.
Really?
Yeah. She was just making up words, and she decided that was going to be her main feature of that song.
No.
And there was a moment where me and my wife just locked eyes, trying not to laugh, trying not to like just swerve her away from the word. And eventually she changed it to socks.
Was she saying fox?
But anyway, I thought that we'd done quite a good job so far. She's a pleasant like girl. She's polite. She's kind. She says please. She says thank you. Yeah. However, there's one thing that we've recognised, which she has obviously just copied off her mum and dad. And so, a part of the bedtime routine, we use Alexa to play a song. And so we say, Alexa, play calming piano music. The problem is that there is one particular calming piano song which Noah likes. And so when we respond, we think we do so in a calming manner. But Noah's learnt to say this now, so she'll do it. She'll say, Alexa, turn on calming piano music.
We've got that.
And then it will begin to play not the right one. And immediately, without a split second thought, she'll go, Alexa, stop! In any other circumstance, you can't talk to people like that. But Alexa's not a person.
It's not acceptable.
So just let it slide.
Yeah, wow. I feel sorry for kids called Alexa. Because you just know you just know that people are taking the mick.
Yeah. It's become so like famous now as well.
Yeah.
But it was that sort of split moment where I was like, we have zero patience for Alexa when she gets something wrong, because it's an inanimate object. It has no feelings yet.
Yep.
But it was like that moment of going, I didn't realise I was like that, and now every time I ask Alexa for something and it doesn't happen, I can feel the rage. I'm like, oh, I need to change that.
Yeah, I've definitely incorporated please and thank you into my interactions with
That's a great shout.
Alexa.
That's a great shout.
Just got to be done.
Whereas we've raised a monster that has no respect for
There's now swearing.
artificial intelligence.
Yeah, Alexa's not got feelings. Although I think if you tell Alexa to like shut up or something, it'll say that it doesn't understand rudeness or something.
Oh, really?
Could be making that up, but I'm pretty certain that happened to me once.
I just find it funny watching my daughter interact with it. And so she's got one in her room because we used it for white noise, because we used to have a white noise machine and it broke, and so we put the Alexa in there for a temporary measure, and it just stayed.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre, because sometimes you'll go in and she's turned it off, but also one of her lamps is controlled by the Alexa. And so far, she's understood that when it's bedtime, she doesn't turn it on, and wait for the day where she realises she has the power to turn the lights on.
Yeah. Isn't it mad, like, what they're growing up with now? It's just like a given that there's voice-controlled technology in their bedrooms, and
it is
not
mad.
a given, but it's pretty common.
It's mad. So I was thinking, I grew up with Nokia 3310.
Classic. Indestructible.
Didn't have it until I was 10 or 11, I think. But all you could do on that was play Snake.
Oh, yeah.
Space Impact. Which was always like a mystery to me. I could never figure it out. But now...
couldn't even still now.
But now kids are born into YouTube tablets, Alexas,
Yeah.
like everything, and they take to it like water, like literally. Well, not
They
like a fish to
are
water.
easier to use though, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the way they're designed, isn't it? But it's mad to think what their equivalent of the technology we've seen improve will be in their lifetime.
Oh yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
in 28 years, what will have changed, and what will they be having these conversations with their kids about?
Yeah. My little girl, she's 14 months, and she'll like see my phone and she'll just start to scratch at it and swipe it and all that kind of stuff.
Do you ever get it when they're like, if you're on a laptop, they try and press it's like a touch screen?
Yeah, but my laptop is touchscreen.
Oh, there you go.
It's well annoying. It's a work laptop. I'll say I've not bought myself a fancy touchscreen laptop. It's a work laptop. So she'll come across, touch the screen, and then
Ruin everything.
yeah, it's gone. It's well annoying. But on the kind of Siri front, kind of move personal assistants,
Ooh.
I had my phone plugged in, and we were going somewhere, and I had Siri on the navigation, and it was one of those like areas where you're making lots of turns.
Yeah.
So Siri's constantly just butting in on what we were listening to. We were listening to a podcast, and eventually, I'm not a swearer, I said, for flip's sake. Literally, for flip's sake. And I was like, gosh, like Siri, give it a rest. We go in the car, next journey. Siri chimes in with some instructions. My little boy in the back. Flipping sake. I'm like, oh gosh.
It makes you like really cautious, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About what you're saying. Like you become so aware.
Yeah, and we didn't realise why he was saying it, and then the next instruction comes, flipping sake.
It's just copying.
Translatable skill. So we're in Asda, and an announcement comes over the PA. My little boy, flipping sake. You've got to be so careful what you say in front of them. And that is a big driver for this podcast existing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got another listener message. So this goes back to, do you remember the opening question we had where it was just, do you hate your partner's parenting sometimes?
Yes.
So we posted that, and the original poster of the question came back to us. Her name's Ermac, and she said, I totally forgot that I even asked this question. She went, I did have something on my chest. We spoke about it, and now I'm fine. Until next time.
Have you just outed her there?
I have indeed. I think the fact that she's come back and commented again makes it okay.
You're no longer anonymous.
No, you're no longer anonymous. Although we've probably said that name wrong, so she's probably all right. Says passive aggressive on high. Thanks for answering, and the advice about not discussing it in front of the baby. The bub, as she's put it. She goes, I have a stay at home with our little one story, actually. It was the first day after my husband went back to work, and I was having major trouble breastfeeding Leo. Oh, little Leo. Oh. And he wasn't latching. It was a lot of work, and I failed for sure. But on that day, he latched. So I reached out and grabbed my phone to take a video, like you do, only for me to drop my phone right on his forehead. Safe to say, he never latched again, and formula became my norm. Wonder if she's on the Aptamil Advanced. We both cried it out. Maybe I should worry about my own parenting ability. P.S. Leo's good. It didn't kill him.
Oh dear.
Have you dropped anything like that on you?
Yeah. Yeah. Phone.
A phone?
Yeah.
On the head?
Yeah. Yeah. I managed to kind of catch it, so it wasn't full impact, but we were lying on the bed looking at photos, and it slipped out my hand. And obviously, like, you're holding it, well, you're holding them, and
Yeah.
I felt so terrible.
Right on the forehead.
In the face, just...
Oh.
Yeah, but just a clip. But yeah. I bought one of those cases now that's like big and bulky, so I can... I hate it, but I don't drop it.
Yeah.
So...
I love that she's put, maybe I should focus on my own parenting ability. Just like the self-awareness of that. If you can't laugh at yourself, what can you do in this life?
Oh, wow. That's hilarious.
That is funny. So, Jason, it's so Jason, it's approaching December.
Do you know what? Everyone says when you get older, time flies.
Time is flying.
I can't believe it's actually coming up to Christmas.
This year's mental.
It's gone so quickly.
Yeah, it's flown by. So I started a course in January, and I can't believe that it was January that I started.
Wow.
Like we're at the end of the
Does it
first
feel
year.
quick or
Feels really quick. But then last Christmas feels really far away.
yeah, I feel that.
But December's coming up and Christmas is nearly upon us.
It is, and like this is like the daddy issue of the season.
Tis the reason.
It's the reason for the stress for many people, and it's the very fact that Christmas is expensive.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. So many aspects. Not even just buying presents for people, like buying so much stuff in all the time. You go over the excessive on the food and you're going out and all the trips. Christmas is just really expensive. And I saw an article from the money guy in the UK. What's his name? Martin Lewis.
It's the only man with 2 first names you can use.
Martin Lewis. And his article was basically saying this year, and I think he's done it like for the last few years, he was saying this year, why don't you consider giving the gift of like people not buying you a present? It's like in families where you like spend loads of money, give them the option to just not buy you a present, especially if it's like not needed or it's just excessive, because that would take so much pressure off, especially like the times that we're having now are getting quite difficult.
Yeah.
But it was just that kind of one awareness of going, oh, actually maybe people around my life that don't necessarily want to participate in like buying presents or other stuff, just being aware of how much stuff costs like this time of year.
Yeah. We've done that with my family. We just like said, we're not going to do presents. Partly because it's just more stuff.
It is.
Like I don't need anything.
Yeah.
If there's something I need, I'll ask for it or I'll ask for money towards it.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of, like you say, it's expensive. It's just more stuff to find a home for.
Isn't it like as we've got Amazon now? Like if you want something, you tend to buy it if you need it. But what we did in our family, Secret Santa. So you're buying one present rather than buying everybody a present. And so you can,
that's a good idea.
You can either slightly up the budget or keep it even cheap. But the fact is you're just buying one present for a big group of people.
Yeah.
That didn't always go down well, but bit of a political one that.
Yeah. So if you are listening in the car or if you're listening with your kids around, I'm going to talk about Mr. Klaus.
Mr. Klaus.
So if you want to pause and revisit, or if you want to skip forward 5 minutes,
we don't want to give away his secret address of where he lives during the holidays, and his holidays obviously not being.
Shout out Santa. Christmas. But do you know what? One of the best things for me about being a dad is getting to be Santa.
Have you done it?
No, but like going downstairs after you put the kids to bed on Christmas Eve, and like putting the presents out, setting everything up.
See, we've not done that
ready.
yet.
It's the best.
Wow.
Christmas for me, like as an adult,
yeah,
I just wasn't that fussed. And I know some people like really get into it, but for me it was like it's some time off work.
Yeah.
But now I've got kids, it's super exciting again. And that whole thing of like putting the carrot out with him and the drink or whatever, and then drinking it and leaving it out, just knowing that he's going to be really excited in the morning to see if this drink has gone.
So talk us through everything that you do in that.
So he's 3, so we only had really last Christmas where he's aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
But like my wife did footprints on the floor from our chimney, which is an electric fireplace. But I remember saying that to her, like, it's electric, we've not got a chimney. Like our 2-year-old boy is going to walk downstairs and go,
what's next you're going to say?
Yeah, how does that work logistically?
See the footprints, the carrots?
Yeah, we did carrots. A bite of the carrot.
Did you like some milk or whiskey?
It was whiskey because I like whiskey.
There you go.
It's like, oh yeah, Santa would like some whiskey. And then we like get the presents out and put them in some piles and get the additional stuff down, and it's just dead nice.
See, we've never done it yet again because our daughter was just too young to have a clue what was going on. She was happy with like wrapping paper last year. But this year we're planning to do some stuff. Not sure the logistics of what we're planning, but it is. Have you ever done Elf on the Shelf?
No, and I will not.
For the listeners that don't understand what it is, what is Elf on a Shelf?
So Elf on a Shelf is a little toy elf.
Yeah.
That gets up to mischief on the days of Advent.
Okay.
So from the 1st of December I think it's the 1st of December. Kids will come downstairs and this elf would have done something. Gets himself in all sorts of precarious situations and scenarios. My wife did it at school for her kids, and she put so much time and effort into it. Bless her. And they loved it, but it's not for me.
See, I'm not a big fan either, but because I've heard some horror stories, and one year my nephew got really scared of the elf.
Like how?
Just because it was like doing mischief. He's not a fan of like kids doing naughty things.
Good on him.
And so the elf was doing naughty things and he wasn't happy.
Yeah. Lots of stuff with toilet rolls. It's like, why is that acceptable?
For me, it's just another thing to remember to do.
It's another thing. Life is busy enough without having to do elf on a shelf. But some people do it, and like the kids love it, don't they? But I've just got too much on my plate.
I'm excited. We've bought it's like a little plate that sits near the fireplace, and it's got like writing on. This is where the bread, like the carrot goes, and this is where the drink goes. Excited to use it for the first time this year.
I think we've got one of those. Santa's plate of stuff.
I'm still like having conversations with Santa as to what drink he wants, but we'll see.
Depends how the diet's going. Santa would like some Huel. Imagine that. Huel and a protein bar.
Joe, we've had a comment.
We have had a comment on the Christmas front. So this, I've cut the person's name off. I'm ever so sorry. It says, speaking about Christmas and the kiddos, once I heard some mum explain about how they go about it. They tell their kids that the small, inexpensive gift is from Mr. Claus, and the big, expensive gifts are from mum and dad. The idea behind this is when the kiddos go to school, there is no confusion why Santa gives someone else the newest iPhone and someone gets their siblings' used jacket. Since I heard it a few years ago, I have always liked this concept.
That's a great concept. That's got me asking a few questions there. Firstly, at what age do you tell your kids?
They figure it out, don't they? I think they figure it out.
I think one thing that worries me is them not figuring it out and they're getting a bit... I don't want them to be the last kid in their class to know.
My sister-in-law, my mother-in-law tells me that she was going to secondary school, believing in Santa, and she just had to tell her because she didn't want to go to secondary school.
Yeah, that'd be brutal. 11.
Yeah. Believing in Santa. But my mother-in-law, actually, she says, when her kids said to her, is Santa real? She said, the day that you stop believing in Santa is the day he stops bringing you presents.
Wow.
Which, when you think about it, is true.
But do they still get presents?
No, but then someone else just gives you the presents.
Oh, true.
You know it's from your mum and dad. It's not from Santa. So that's a nice way of wording it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to go down that road myself, but I like it. I do like it. But I remember my nephew once. He wasn't very old, but he asked me, like, if mummy and daddy buy the presents, what's Santa doing in the workshop?
What's he doing for a living? Yeah,
or something like that. And I can't remember the exact wording of it, but it was like, I remember just talking about raw materials.
Go for the confusion method.
Yeah. I was just like, well, mummy and daddy provide the budget for Santa to get the raw materials.
Santa's the contractor.
Yeah. And then he puts it all together in the workshop with the elves, and then he delivers it if you've been good.
Santa's a contractor who's using small people as labour in his workshop.
Funded by the great public of the world.
Do the elves get paid?
They get enjoyed. They get housed, don't they?
Doesn't really sound like a fair work environment to me.
Santa just stamping all over the little people. So yeah, I love Christmas again from the other side of it.
Yeah,
behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, it is a thing, isn't it? That like Christmas gets magical again when you see it through the eyes of your kids.
Yeah. And he's definitely in that phase at the minute of he'll see something on TV, and he's like, "Can I have that for Christmas?" Like, put it on your list.
That's lovely.
Put it on your email.
Put it on your email.
Put it on your WhatsApp to Santa.
You can do an email to Santa.
All you need to do is Christmas. Do you do that?
What?
Are you going to do like the Santa list? And
so I don't think we've approached that level of understanding yet. So we've gone through, one thing that we did was at Smith's, the toy shop, they give away the catalogues. It's like the old Argos catalogue, RIP.
Oh, yeah.
They don't do it anymore, do they?
No, they stopped it a few years ago.
So Smith's will do a catalogue, and we kind of did it as like an activity, but also an indication to find out what she likes. And so we just went through the entire book.
Yeah.
Just looking at all the toys, and that was quite like a good activity, but also now we know what to get her if she wants something. And so she'll know, oh, I want that for Christmas, because we've explained that bit, but we haven't explained or even attempted the writing a list to Santa. I think that's confusing at this stage.
Did you used to do that when you were a kid growing up in the 90s? The glory days?
I'll tell you one
Go
thing.
through the Argos and circle what you want.
And this was a parenting tip from my mum that I experienced. Is some years when I wasn't very good at writing lists or sitting down and writing it. And so my mum used to do this thing, and she said us, just circle it in the Argos book and Santa will know.
Yeah, you'll know.
He won't. Those pages are too thin.
Just ripped through it.
It was brilliant. I just assumed that was my list going out, and there was always that talk of Santa won't get you everything on your list. But
That's amazing. We used to, me and my mate, like, we'd go on car journeys or like whatever, and we'd just have an Argos catalogue, and for hours we'd be like, page 712. You're like, right, we're in the middle. So we need the sports equipment, and it's just before, and like jewelry was at the front, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Toys were at the back, and like.
There was always that one remote control car that I always wanted. It was the one that flipped over,
Yeah.
and it was like green on one side and it was blue on the other, and it could flip over and it would still work. And you drive it against the wall.
I had one of those.
I had many because I kept breaking them, but I always wanted it, and it was never as good as I thought it was when I got it.
Is there anything that you really wanted, like aside from that you asked for Christmas, and you never got it?
I'm sure there was many things. Like, we weren't that well off growing up, so there would have been many things that we didn't get, but nothing that scarred me where I remember it.
So I asked for a Buzz Lightyear. Wow. And never got one.
Wow.
And my mum always said, like, no, it's too much money, fair play. She was very upfront. But then as soon as I had my little boy, I had to get him a Buzz Lightyear.
Is that why he likes Buzz so much?
Kind of forced it upon him. No, he does like Buzz Lightyear anyway. Like, he's got about 6 different Buzz Lightyears in this house of different sorts. One's from books, one's from free toys, one from whatever.
Yeah. But
He's got the actual Buzz Lightyear, and then that broke within the warranty. So like now we've got a second one. It's like we've got so many Buzz Lightyears, but overcompensating for my young disappointment.
I've always wanted the full set of like Toy Story.
Yeah.
Like the actual proper toys.
The full crew.
Yeah.
He's got a Mr. Potato Head.
Love a Mr. Potato Head.
I've got a Mrs.
Oh no, he's lonely.
He is.
Well, John, I want to pick up on no, it's not necessarily a daddy issue. It's something that we put in one of our videos on TikTok about tantrums, or when our kids tantrum, and we had a comment which was something along the lines of just bad parenting.
Yeah, we are, according to JMB on TikTok, our videos are trying to normalise people that don't parent.
Because our kids are having tantrums.
It wasn't even that. It was a video of you saying about going out for food.
Oh, yeah.
And you mentioned you look away and a drink has spilt or some cutlery's on the floor. It wasn't even about tantrums or bad behaviour. It was 2-year-olds spill things when you're out. And yeah, we're normalising bad parenting.
But on that note, on TikTok, I saw 2 very different videos, and there was a little bit of Twitter beef, TikTok beef going on there.
TikTok beef.
One of the videos was this so-called expert saying how to deal with tantruming kids, and it was along the lines of just ignore them, it's all for attention, all that sort of stuff. And then the other guy, who was more of an official expert, who actually been like researching the area for like the past 12 years, that's the comment that I remember, who was basically just refuting that. I was saying that they're just like trying to understand stuff and figure stuff out. And so it's that idea that if your kid is tantruming and you're hearing people saying that it's, oh, you're such bad parents or anything like that, it might not be that you're a bad parent. You actually might be a good parent, and someone might just need to hear that you're not doing a terrible job if your kid's been a bit of a nightmare, because kids are nightmares.
Well, I said last week about my little boy having a bit of a meltdown about the blue flecks in his toothpaste. Am I a bad parent because he didn't like blue flecks in his toothpaste? No. And I'm confident enough to say that.
Yeah.
Is he attention seeking because he doesn't like the blue bits in his toothpaste? No. They're just kids, and that's like the way that they express themselves.
Yeah, and I think what got me thinking is that there's a whole group of people which will look at any sort of thing that your kid's doing and that reflecting negatively on the parents. And like, even as a parent, if you're not processing that with people that are healthy or have got these types of opinions, you can end up feeling really down. And it's just a little thing of going, you might be doing better than you think.
Yeah.
Keeping them alive is a good step.
Yeah, I really feel for mums, because the majority of mums will spend more time with their kids, going out in public, going to baby groups, going to mother and toddler groups. And the judgment that goes on, whether it's spoken or not, I just really feel for those that really feel it, and the odd comment here and there. And what annoys me about comments like the one we got on TikTok isn't that it's directed at us, is that the people that feel like a bad parent, because they've had a negative experience of going out with their kids for food and it's not gone well, will see a comment like that, and it reinforces that notion that if your kid has a bit of a time of it out, you're a bad parent.
Yeah.
And that is just not true. And that's what I had to hold back a few comments.
Yeah.
I wrote out a few.
I wrote out a few as well.
But yeah, and we had the video that I don't know what's classed as viral anymore, but it got to like 400,000 views, so quite a lot.
That's good for us.
Yes, really good for us. About when I said about my experience having my second child, where I was feeling nervous about how do I love a second child as much as my first, and we had loads of people replying saying, "Thank you for saying this, because this is how I feel," or "My husband feels the same way," or "I'm not having a second child because I'm worried about this." And then you'd have the odd comment, people going, "This guy doesn't love his second child as much."
Yeah.
And that doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all, because one, the person doesn't know me. Two, they've not seen me spend time with my kids. I think if it was my mum or someone close to me saying, "Do you know what, you quite clearly prefer your first," then I think, do you know what?
Not sure if a TikTok comment is the most appropriate avenue for that conversation.
But because it's someone that, doesn't even know who I am.
Oh, it just
doesn't bother me. But you're reinforcing other people that are saying, "This is how I feel." You are reinforcing that lie for other people. And it just does my head in.
And that's what I was trying to get to. And like, one of the things that I not even call myself, a similar sort of thing, was we signed our daughter up to baby ballet.
Cute.
So my mother-in-law used to take her along to that when she was looking after her, and it's fantastic. One of the days she was on holiday, and so me and my wife took her instead, and I was shocked to find out it was only half an hour. So I dropped her off, not by herself, with my wife, and then I went to the shops doing some weekly shopping. I thought I had an hour to kill, and halfway around I got a call, "Oh, we're finished." I was like, "Oh, it's only half an hour, what are they doing?" And so I went last week, and I thought, half an hour was enough. the respect I have for that lady, for the people who run the group, oh my word, trying to do ballet with a room full of 2-year-olds. There was my daughter who loves it and she likes instructions and she likes to follow. The other kids, not so much, especially if you're having a bad day as well, and it was half term, so it wasn't as orderly as usual. Kids just running up and down, like, "Okay, we're gonna sit up now," and there's kids not even giving an answer, just sprinting away. Half an hour was plenty.
I couldn't I don't think I could deal with it so gracefully and graciously as children's workers.
I have so much respect. They're amazing.
And it's not for me. But I sit down. Do your plie.
I get annoyed after 2 minutes if my daughter doesn't do what I ask. Let alone half an hour.
Like, how many people were there? How many kids?
There was only like 3.
Okay, so not a massive.
So because it was half term, loads of people were away, which in a way made it worse. Because it was like, clearly there was
more awareness.
But she powered on.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Oh, bless her. Oh, that's cute. Baby ballet.
Yeah.
Does she love it?
She absolutely loves it. She goes on little tippy toes.
Does she?
Yeah, she does all the little actions. She does good toes, naughty toes. She loves it.
Oh, that's so cute. That's really cute. Oh, amazing. Anything else you want to talk about before we jump off?
No.
No. Do you know, speaking, because we're going back a few topics now, talking about your kids repeating things that they hear you say.
Yeah.
My little boy the other day, we were having dinner at my in-laws, and he wanted to get down from the table, and my mother-in-law picked up a carrot, and because I said, well, we're at Nana's house, I said, you ask Nana. He said, Nana, can I get down? And she picked up a carrot, and she was just about to say, if you eat the carrot, you can get down. And she picked it up, and he went, don't you even think about it. And it's one of those, you could hear it, a kid say that and think, what a rude little boy. But it's what we say to him. Like, if he picks something up to throw it, we go, don't even think about it. Or if, like, he's going to get down from the table.
It's brilliant.
So he's just, like, repeating what we say. So then, am I a bad parent? Because he said that? No. My response to that is to hide my mouth whilst laughing. Yeah. But to say that's not nice.
Yeah.
You have to listen to Nana. And anyway, he didn't eat the carrot.
That is amazing. Oh, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you've got any questions, comments, stories, we would love to hear them. Maybe you're just think you're a terrible parent and you want some just camaraderie of all of us in the same boat. Send us a message, or even if you've got something funny, that'd be nice. Send us on TikTok or Instagram at parentingtoolspod.
If you want to send us an email, please do at parentingtoolspod@gmail.com. If you're listening and you don't follow us on Instagram and TikTok, why not give us a little follow?
Yeah, that's what you do.
Thanks so much for listening. We will see you next week.